at this moment, we represent ourselves as a hidden gem of Europe.
Our startup ecosystem is thriving. In the past 5 years, we grew more than 7 times in the value of enterprise. Here in Lithuania, we are second in Central and Eastern Europe in investment per capita.
Around 1,000 startups, 18,000 people working in this sector. And of course, we have our free unicorns and we are the fastest growing ecosystem in Baltic region.
Welcome back, guys. Today we have two amazing guests, Miss Carolina, who leads Startup Lithuania, and Ruta. She is the head of investor relations at Startup Lithuania, and we have so much to share with you in this video, Tulsi.
Thank you very, very much for joining us. Today is a very, very special episode. One of my favorites that I've been looking forward to do this in Lithuania, because when I came to Lithuania, I felt like this startup ecosystem is just thriving. It's so vibrant. People are, out there doing stuff, creating stuff, innovating, and it's just so exciting. And I wanted to share this with a broader audience. The ecosystem, the opportunities, and just that vibe, when I met Ruth, I was like, I loved it, we went on and on and on, and it just feels like you are home when you meet the startup space enablers and the ecosystem builders here. So very excited to have you both here with us. We'll start with you to see, could you give us a little bit of an overview of the ecosystem, and then we'll go to Ruta, and then we take it from there.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much for having us here. We're very excited to be here. And also what I wanted to mention, I really like that you mentioned that we are a part of innovation agency, that Startup Lithuania is a part of innovation agency, because usually people don't understand that Startup Lithuania is not like a different company, or different. We do have our own brand, but we are a part of innovation agency, which is the main facilitator of innovations in Lithuania. And talking about our startup ecosystem, we're very happy that our startup ecosystem is thriving. In the past 5 years, we grew more than 7 times in the value of enterprise. Here in Lithuania, we are second in Central and Eastern Europe in investment per capita, and we are second in CE in investments overall.
It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So we're very excited that the ecosystem is growing, and we're looking forward to growing it even more with our measures that we have in Innovation Agency and Startup Lithuania, as well as in our strategy of Startup Lithuania, what we're looking forward to do in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Do you have something to add, Ruta?
Yeah, I think we do go to a lot of different events, and at this moment we represent ourselves as a hidden gem of Europe,
Nice.
And that's very interesting because everyone wants to hear more. And I think that at this moment the Lithuanian startup ecosystem is doing a great job. We have around 1,000 startups, 18,000 people working in this sector, and of course we have our free unicorns that we're very happy to have them. And I think what is also very interesting, we just received our report of the last year, and we are the fastest growing ecosystem in Baltic region when we compare startups. So we are very happy with the results, and I think right now Lithuania is the main point to go if you want to invest or if you're building a startup, because we have a lot of motivated people, a lot of new ideas, and I think that governmental support also is a huge help for our startups. So we are very happy with the results that we are right now having.
That's amazing. You said very rightly, hidden gem and thriving, because I felt it, I've been a part of the startup space in multiple countries, and even in the last 1 year I've worked in Portugal. I love the space, I love the vibrant community, and I was in Croatia for a while. I really enjoyed it. But here, what I loved the most was people and just that passion in them, and they are out there trying to make something happen. So amazing. Yeah, speaking of like the market opportunities specifically for international startups, someone like me who is country hopping to see, where do I settle and where do I set up my startup. And I was fortunate to meet people here who I could collaborate in terms of technology or in terms of, subject matter expertise. And I found people who, were there, who I could build a team with, which was amazing. So what do you have to say in terms of, why should international startups consider, setting their businesses up in Lithuania?
Yeah, absolutely. What Ruta mentioned before too, that we have a great government whose one of the main focus are startups. So we are very happy that we have so many different instruments and financial measures to funding the startups. Although most of them are for Lithuanian startups, but we are really welcoming all international startups to come here and set up a business here and therefore get the funding for their businesses. And we are thriving in the sectors like cybersecurity, like life sciences, game dev, lasers, fintech, obviously. Yeah, we are the biggest fintech hub in Europe. So yeah, these are the main sectors that we are really thriving, but the main sectors that we are also most focused on are smart specialization. So these smart specialization sectors are provided for us from the government, and these are the key sectors that like the whole country is working towards. So it's smart manufacturing, ICT, and life sciences. Yes, so these are the three main sectors, but us as Startup Lithuania, we're industry agnostic, so we are working with all the startups and we're trying to provide them with opportunities like for all the sectors. So all the measures that we have, or like accelerators that we have, that I'm sure we're gonna talk about them later, they are industry agnostic, so all of the startups can just come here and start their businesses.
Awesome, thank you.
And also we have several programs. For example, one of our programs that helps to relocate to Lithuania is called Startup Visa, which helps non-EU startups to relocate to Lithuania. Okay, there are like a program, and it takes around 1 week to fill in all the needed documentation. The second one, why European startups would like to relocate, because I think when you're relocating to a small country, it's easier to work here. We represent ourselves as a one-stop shop, because we know each other quite well. So you will get support not only from us, but also from our partners, from our funds, from our investors, local ones, So it's I think these are the pluses of a small country, that we know each other quite well, and we are motivated to help each other. We're a very friendly ecosystem when we speak about startups.
Are there any, like you mentioned Startup Visa, are there any specific programs that are dedicated for international startups? It could be like in-person programs, maybe incubation, acceleration programs, or they could be like online and they could complete the program online and then move slowly into the market?
I think I can answer that. So we have the whole program that is called Startup Visa. So therefore we have a specific person that you can contact, and she can answer all the questions that you have, and she can help you with the process of, migration process and everything. And as Ruta mentioned, it's for non-EU startups, because as we know, if you are from EU, it's so easy to set up a business here in Lithuania. It takes like 24 hours, but if you're not from EU country, then you can use Startup Visa program. And then here in Startup Lithuania, we have several programs. One of them is, for example, Accelerator. We have international accelerator that we're doing together with Plug and Play, which is one of the biggest accelerators in the world. So it's not only for Lithuanian startups. anyone can apply. Any startup from all around the world can apply. And also we are having call for applications now until June 14. And we're gonna have 5 cycles until 2026. So all of the startups, the founders can apply for this program. But in case they get selected, they actually have to relocate and be have their company here in Vilnius region. So yeah, so this is one of the requirements of the program. So we have that. We are preparing several other accelerators, which are also gonna be for international audience, because we want to be as international as we can. So we're gonna have EdTech and GameTech accelerators, but we're still preparing them, so they're not released yet. So stay tuned as well. And even for those who are still just thinking about their business, we have this pre-accelerator program that they can use even now. You can find it on our website, startuplithuania.com, and we have this pre-accelerator course that you can do, just like if you only have an idea, you can go through steps and building the idea, creating your pitch deck and stuff like that, And if you have any questions, we also have someone to consult you on them. And so I think these are the main programs.
Yeah, these are the international ones that we're attracting. But of course, we have a lot of partners that are organizing local acceleration programs. So we have several partners that are organizing acceleration programs for deep tech sector. It's different. There is always something going on in our startup ecosystem. There are always like some kind of acceleration programs, hackathons, everywhere where you go. There are pitch battles, in universities, in other, organizations that are organizing. So there is always a way to learn something new.
Awesome. So you did mention like a lot.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, it looks like I want to be part of this ecosystem, and the fact that it's a very close-knit community, right? And then you have all these resources, and as you mentioned, instead of going into a big market and try to infiltrate that huge competition, a lot of things can be easier here for you. And then you have enablers like Startup Lithuania, Innovation Agency, and other incubators that are trying to facilitate you and walk you through the whole process. Could you be a bit like a few more specific examples of what are a few things that Startup Lithuania offers? Or I'm switching between Innovation Agency and Startup
We
Lithuania.
can call it Startup Lithuania. It's good that we mentioned in the beginning that we are part of Innovation Agency, but I think it's like such a long name.
So to integrate, international startups, when they come in, they have to integrate with the local market. They have to find potential partners. They have to find potential clients, and really meet the local stakeholders and really take their business off. And there is so much that comes with it, and especially one of the biggest challenge for any startup could be finding the team. Right. So when you go into a new market, you can't bring like all of your team to a new place. So just like I'm looking for specific examples that people could pick up.
I think that when we speak about the help from Startup Lithuania, so we do consult the startups for free, the ones that are located here or are going to locate here, So that's why we can tell them more about the events that are coming. For example, all the startups that are the new ones in our ecosystem, every time I meet them, I tell them that you should participate at as many events as possible, because you will meet there the right people. So you should, if you're looking for a team member, you should participate at the pitch battles, because after that, they're telling that we're looking for this and that teammate, Then we have these kind of big events. For example, Startup Lithuania is organizing Startup Fair, which is our main event. Once a year, we are organizing Startup Fair. And there you will meet all the ecosystem in one day under one roof. So you will have the whole view how our ecosystem looks like. And of course, we have a lot of information on our website. So for example, if you're looking for investors, we have an ecosystem map. In ecosystem map, there is all the information provided about investors that are ready to invest in Lithuanian startups or the startups that are located in Lithuania. The second thing is what we are providing guidelines how to start your business here. So there is even a map where you can see that. Also, we provide information about events, about acceleration programs. So I think that Startup Lithuania is the key, contact when you are relocating to Lithuania and you have some questions. And you can, of course, write to us, and we can, help you in every way we can. That you could understand, the cultural things, the differences between the countries, the things that you need to fill in order to relocate, and those kind of things. As Carolina mentioned, we had a person that is working only with startup visa program. That is the person that consults you on these kind of questions and answers all the questions. So as I mentioned before, we are very proud that we can call ourselves one-stop shop, meaning that you can connect with one person and he will try to answer all the questions that you have regarding our ecosystem.
Amazing, amazing. Do you have anything to add, or?
I love that what Ruta said, that you should participate in the events, that's happening in our ecosystem, not only in Vilnius, but in other major cities like Kaunas as well. We were saying before that our ecosystem of startups, it's not that big, right? Because Lithuania itself, it's not that big. So it's really nice when you go to events, you usually see so many familiar faces already, and then you can chat and you can even build some projects together, so I think this is one of the main reasons and examples how Lithuania is building its own ecosystem, because everyone is working together. And even the startup fair that we're doing on October 3rd this year, we're trying to, we are the main organizers of the event, but we're trying to involve the whole ecosystem to come together, to have side events, to build this ecosystem all together. So we're very excited about that. And even what we started to do this initiative called meetups. So for example, next week, we're going to have a startup meetup here in Vilnius, in Vilnius Tech University. Vilnius University, I'm sorry, and where some of the startups, they're gonna pitch themselves, but still the main point of this event is just to see what other startups, what other people from the ecosystem breathes for, who are they living for now, what is happening in their lives. So it's so nice that you can just have these conversations, the real ones, with all of the ecosystem players, and just work together. We don't want to compete with each other. We want to build and grow our country together.
Of course, I think that's the beauty of startup ecosystems anywhere, right? Even if you are in different countries, you always find, okay, how can we do this together, right? So I think that's so beautiful about it. If a new startup is coming in, or maybe a new incubator is coming in, it's all part of the ecosystem.
And I think this initiative that we're starting in Vilnius, because Kaunas has its own events, but we're starting right now as a Startup Lithuania in Vilnius. With this initiative, it will even bring more startups to our ecosystem, meaning that everyone is welcome. If you don't have a startup, but you're interested in building a startup, you can meet your possible future team members there, you can understand more what's going on in our startup ecosystem. And that's, I think that is very important, especially for people that are still thinking, and if they should bring their own startup to our ecosystem. If they are still thinking, if they have some ideas, or they are considering some ideas, so those kind of meetups will help them, to understand if they really want to do this.
That's a beautiful initiative, really building from ground up. Laying the foundations, and awesome when we speak about startups, we cannot not speak about investors, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of investments and investment opportunities here, one, what are the existing investment opportunities in the market right now? And then the follow-up would be, what are strategies you are undertaking and working on to attract more investment into the ecosystem? So, startup feel like, okay, I'm going to go into this market, but I'm also being able to unlock investments for my startup.
Yeah, when we speak about investors, we have a lot of local investors, business angels that are quite active, at this moment. They are looking for new startups, new ideas. And as I mentioned before, we have a very friendly and mentoring ecosystem, meaning that if you only have idea, you can still consult with them, and in the future, they might invest into your business. That's why we do organize those kind of pitch battles, with our partners, or hackathons or acceleration programs that help to boost our ecosystem. When we speak about foreign investors, at this moment, Lithuania is very interesting for foreign investors because they see a lot of potential. For a long time, we were like Baltic region wasn't that well known as a startup ecosystem that we have. And now they're more opening their eyes and understanding that there is so much here, so many talents, so many motivated people, so many ideas. And I think that we do travel a lot, and every time we do those kind of presentations about Lithuanian startup ecosystem, all the investors after that come to me and tell like, how could we be a part of that? And that's why we created an ecosystem map where we put all the information about the investors that would like to invest in our startup ecosystem in different sectors, in different fields. So you can find that the list every month, the list is getting bigger and bigger, and you see very different investors. Yeah, different funds from all over the world, not only from Europe, but also from United States and from Asian market too. So I think that at this moment, Lithuania is very interesting for investors, funds, and business angels because it was hidden for some time. Nobody knew about this knew, but not that much. And now they see the results. They see our unicorns that are amazing, and now they understand that this is the place where you should invest at this moment.
Yeah, and just to add to that, what we're trying to do is we are trying to make this matchmaking environment, right, where we can attract as many international investors, as well as match them with local or international startups. So for example, even what we're also doing is we're going to these international events like Web Summit, Slash, Tech Barbecue, and so on. And what we're trying to do, if we're trying to build this, how can you say, like a network of all the, for example, Lithuanian startups that are going to, and we want to know who is going, because for example, if somebody approaches Ruta and says, oh, I'm looking for a startup that works in life sciences, or just like tech startup, she can say, oh my God, look, this startup is actually here today, so let's, I want to connect you to, and you can chat about it, and just I don't know, just see where it goes in the future, So that's what we're also trying to do.
Yeah, we are the moderator between investor and startup, and I think this is the beauty of a small country because, as I mentioned, we know each other quite well. And when investor comes to me and says, Ruth, I'm looking for this, and that, and I would like to invest. Then I come to our community manager and tell, I have an investor and he's looking for this, that startup, and she tells me okay, we have 5 or 4 of these. If they would like to meet, just send them the names and then they can meet, or we can be a moderator between them. So I think this is the beauty of a small market.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
also I understand that we are talking so much about this one question, but I also wanted to mention that how we are trying to attract these startups to go to these events. For example, Innovation Agency and Startup Lithuania, we are funding these trips for startups. So they can go to an international event. Obviously, the price varies based on the country, but we can fund your trip to some international event if you're looking for partners, if you're looking for co-founders or anything, or if you just want to scout the event, we can fund you.
Awesome. Can I be part of this?
Yes, of course. Go
Can I
Yes,
apply?
you're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to apply. Very exciting, very interesting. I'm gonna just maybe put like uh, the whole conversation in a few fingertips
Yeah, 'cause we're
terms.
talking so much.
A
I'm like,
lot,
oh,
yeah.
I mean, because there is so much to share, right?
Yes.
There is so much that needs to be said, and also like it's very, very exciting, like there are opportunities. Just for investors, why do you think like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, they should invest in startups in Lithuania? Like it's the market for them.
I think that the first thing is that we have a lot of talents here, a lot of motivated people, and a lot of ideas.
I can vouch for that.
Yes, I think this is the main thing. The second thing, we're still quite hidden at this moment. So it's like a new market for them.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. The third thing, a small market, which helps you to find the right connections.
Right.
They can always consult with us regarding the startups, or if they cannot reach the startup, they can always come to us and say, like, Ruta, we cannot reach the startup. Can you help us? Or can you tell us more about the startup? This we can provide them very reliable information. So I think these are the main things, and
Very,
that
very,
our
very
startups have a lot of potential to grow their knowledge here in
Yeah.
Lithuania. And that's Startup Lithuania is helping them to grow faster. And that for investors is also very important, that they would have a startup that has the basic knowledge, or the motivation to grow. They participate at different events, at a different acceleration program. That means they have a lot of potential to grow. So I think that for investors, these are the main things that are attracting them.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the mentality of our startups, of our people, I think, as we got our independence, we were growing kind of slowly, but in the past, well, even like past 5 years,
Yeah.
right? The whole ecosystem is growing so much, and the mentality of people, it's a little bit different because we don't take things for granted. We know that we have to earn them. We know that we have to. That we have to learn so much new stuff. That's why we have so many different talents. And for example, in Vilnius, so many people are talk in English. So we are trying to be as much international as we can. So I think the mentality also adds up to that so much.
Amazing. Thank you. We spoke a lot about what startups have to find in the system, but what are you looking for? What kind of startups are you looking for to attract into the market? What would be your ideal type?
I think because we are a government institution, we're not looking for specific startups. We are welcoming everyone to come and to
That's
consult
nice.
with us. So definitely we're interested. As I said, we're very industry agnostic. So we're not looking for specific startups. We just want startups that can build our ecosystem and grow it, and then scale up later and become international. And we're looking for future unicorns.
Yes.
That's what I can say.
In one
So
line.
yeah, so I mean, it's whatever industry you are in. If you're a future unicorn, we're welcoming
Yes.
you.
Please come.
Yeah, but just to give specific areas, I think it comes to what I mentioned before, the smart specialization that we are working on, because us as Startup Lithuania, we can help you and provide you with information, like we can provide you information about the investors or, the specific programs like pre-accelerators, accelerators, incubators, and so on. We also have tech parks, here in Lithuania, so we can provide you with that information and guide you, but then later, even at Innovation Agency, we have different labs, that work with these smart specialization areas. Like we have Life Science Lab, we have a Smart Manufacturing Lab, ICT Lab. So later on, when you are not a startup anymore, you can go on and work, with our labs and like these sandboxes or whatever, and then grow and scale up. So yeah, we're not looking for specific startups, but obviously if you come under the smart specialization, I think there are more opportunities for you to grow in the future and scale up.
Thank you. What are you looking for?
Like Karolina,
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. Like Karolina mentioned, we're not looking for specific ones in one or other sector or one or other stage. But we're looking for startups that are eager to learn, to grow, to be motivated, and that's how Startup Lithuania can help them to make their dreams come true. And for us, it's very important to have as many unicorns as possible here in Lithuania. So this is the
unicorn
yeah, if you have a lot of motivation, a lot of energy, you are open-minded, want to learn, want to grow, come to us.
Nice, and we are building this unicorn hub
Yes,
in Lithuania. That takes me to your personal journey of, like you worked in different ecosystems and you were based in Silicon Valley and you decided to come back. What were your motivations and what's your vision for the ecosystem here for coming back?
Yes, that's a really good question. Thank you. Just to give an audience a little bit of my background. So I was working in Innovation Agency before, and then I went to Silicon Valley to plug and play, the same plug and play that we have here in Lithuania now. So I went there to be a part of investor team of like ventures people, and I specifically was working with brand and retail and media and advertising startups. So what I saw, and one of the reasons why I actually came back is that I really love my country and I wanted to be here. I wanted to, I wanted to build this ecosystem and to like help grow my country, because I think this is, our country is amazing. But I'm serious. I was looking forward to coming back later because I knew that Lithuania has so much potential. But also at the same time, when I was there in Silicon Valley, I was trying to also bring like Lithuanian startups to Silicon Valley. So I was trying to, set up calls with some of the Lithuanian startups, or even like Eastern European or European startups, and just to help them maybe integrate a little bit into Silicon Valley, or just like hear their pitches and see if we can like have any potential investments, or if we can set up them with some of like plug and play partners and stuff. So what I saw being there is that I think it's a part of our mentality a little bit as well, because we were like under Soviet Union for so long. I think our people are sometimes a little bit reserved, if you will, because like for example, even when they pitch sometimes, right, you can see the difference between like American startups, because they're very open and like happy all the time. And sometimes you can see a difference between not necessarily Lithuanian startups, but like Eastern European, I think. So what I knew that when I come back, I want to, change that, and I want to make our startups, like, even though we are very international now, I want to make them like even pitch better, you know, or just like have these connections with the international markets, international investors and so on. So this is my main vision, even as the head of Startup Lithuania, you know, to strengthen the quality of our startups, because as Ruta mentioned in the beginning, we have more than 1,000 startups. So we want to help them, you know, grow and raise money and not only build our economy, but to also, you know, be well known and seen in the world. So I think this is one of our strategic goals in Startup Lithuania now, you know, to help them do that. And that's why we have so many accelerators and other programs that can help them with that. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, speaking of like, we mentioned a bit like Lithuania can be a small market, but we were discussing last time when we met, you know, Ruta, like there is no small market anymore, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a global market.
Yeah.
Like you can be anywhere with the right support system, with the right, you know, ecosystem and community. You can go anywhere in the world, and then the vision of, you know, like taking these more like scaling them, you know, like kind of spreading their wings outside of the country, within EU, beyond EU, to the US and to other markets, and even Asian markets we were discussing. Like, so it's like amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Ruta. If you could like share a little bit on also on the vision of, you know, what are you looking for the future of this ecosystem?
Yeah, I think Carolina mentioned a lot of right things regarding our ecosystem, and I feel that we have a lot of potential. And when we are bringing to Lithuania international acceleration programs, the main goal is that our startups would learn how to pitch, would get more ideas, and would be more open-minded. And I think these kind of things really help our startups to grow. And the vision for our startup ecosystem, I think that we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of success stories, good examples, how our startups became, for example, Nord Security became a unicorn, and this is a very well-known brand in the world, not only in Europe. Vinted also, you know, BCG also. So it's I think that what is good about startup ecosystem, that it doesn't matter from where you are. You just need an idea, and with that idea you can rule the world, you know. You can become like so international. And I wish that all our startups would understand this, and would understand that all their dreams can come true. You only need some help, you only need some mentors, you know, participate at pitch battles, participate at foreign events, but you never know who will be in the audience. As I tell to everyone, participate at all the events, because you never know who will be at the audience. It might be the future investor, it might be the future team member that will help you to bring more investments or new ideas. So I think that I wish for our startups to be as brave as possible, to be bold, you know, to understand that everything is possible, even for a small startup that is from a school or university, you know, and you just need an idea and a team, or you need a team and then you will have an idea, you know. So and from my side, what I'm working the most at this moment, I'm bringing the foreign investors to Lithuania. So as long as
Big
we
job.
have, it is a big job. And I think as long as we have good results, I can bring more and more foreign investors to Lithuania, you know. And I'm very proud all the time when I have to represent our ecosystem, because I think it's amazing. It has a lot of very good things going on, and as long as we are matching these kind of results and going forward, I think this will make us more and more visible in the world, not only in Europe.
Amazing. Cool. I think we spoke a lot about what's good about it and why should they consider. It would be fair to reflect a little on what would be some of the challenges anticipated that people might consider, you know, like maybe 1, 2, 3, that could be a problem, but obviously they have a support, they have this, you know, facilitators who can walk them through. I mean, building a startup is hard, right? So what do you think some anticipated challenges startups would face maybe during relocation or integrating within the local market?
I think there are several things. When we speak about startup visa program that is non for EU startups, there are some cultural differences if you're coming from very different parts of the world, and you need to understand that some of the when you're building a startup, when you're doing your business, there are some things that you need to learn to understand how the business works here in this region, you know, or in Lithuania when we speak. The second thing, what the startups do not understand sometimes is about the attracting investments. That it takes a longer time. It might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but you shouldn't give up. You shouldn't give up. And some of the startups are just like, after 1 year, we're not attracting investments. What's going on? But you know, it takes longer. It takes, especially with investors and so many startups in the world, they want the investors that are coming to Lithuania, they want to build a relation with that startup. You know, they want to understand, to know the team, to know the goals of the team, to understand the motivation of the team, and it takes time. So when we are speaking about attracting investments, I'm telling all the startups that do not think that the investments will come after 1 year or after 2 years. It might take some time, but the end of result will make you very happy. You know, you just need to stay motivated and to never give up. And I think that, and the third thing that I want to mention, which is quite common in startup ecosystem, is the failures. And never, if your startup failed, it doesn't mean that the next startup will fail. You know, you shouldn't give up. I know a lot of CEOs of startups that build not 7, not 10, but even more startups, and they failed after some time, but they never gave up. And after some time, you understand how to build the startup, and you find the right team, the right idea. So I think that do not be afraid of failures. This is also very important. Understand that from each failure you learn something, and then you can build something new and something even better. So this 100%. Is the 3 things that I would like to emphasize.
Yeah, just to add up to what Ruta said, I think these are really, really good points. Just to add up a little bit about like failures, because even in Startup Lithuania, in the team, we were talking that we need to embrace the failures, right? Because sometimes people are thinking, maybe this is also a little bit of Lithuania's problem, right? Because if you fail, and because we're such a small country, and everyone knows everyone, you are afraid to fail, right? Where in US, you fail and then you get up and you start another business, and then you fail. Obviously, we have so many great people here that aren't afraid of that, and that's why they build, you know, such like amazing startups and well-known companies. But that's what we were trying to like not to build, but we were just chatting that we need to also embrace this, and you know, that you can fail. And even talking from as I was working as an investor in Silicon Valley, even when you're looking at the pitch deck, right, and you can see that the person already did similar businesses, and then you can ask them, what did you learn from those businesses that will help you now? You know, I think it's even an advantage. It's not a disadvantage. It's an advantage on your favor. So yeah, I think this is very good point that you mentioned.
I think it's inevitable, no matter where you are, right? You have to go through that process and have the micro and macro failures along the way. And micro are imminent, right? They have to be there, and especially also patience. Like we struggle with passion. Like we want the investment tomorrow, we want the big team tomorrow, but
Yeah.
you know, it takes time to raise the investments, and also, and then if you go to a new place, integrating in the culture, learning about the people, and also going through the winters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we were coming here, everyone was like, don't expect people to be nice to you. They are already dealing with their winters.
Oh, but what happened? I think everyone, especially in Vilnius, and everyone was supposed to be very nice. I think
They were amazing. Like I was very surprised. Like we were
That's a
told,
stereotype about Lithuania.
It is a stereotype, definitely. Like I was like, I don't know how these people are going to be. Like they won't smile at me, they won't say hi, but they were very nice. You know, even like in grocery stores or out somewhere, even in the university, in different events, they were like really nice. So I mean, it takes time, you know, to really go out there, meet people, and figure things out on your own. So finally, I think we'll end with a short snippet of a message, you know, from you for people who are exploring or for people who are interested to, you know, establish their startup, and Lithuania could be their next home.
Okay, I can start. So I think we mentioned a lot of things today. So I don't want to repeat ourselves too much, but as was mentioned today, Startup Lithuania is one stop shop for startups, right? So if you're thinking about relocating to Lithuania, if you're thinking about growing your business here, or if you're just interested in Lithuanian startup ecosystem, you can contact us, and you know we're trying to help startups grow and set up their business and just consult them on everything. So this is one of my main messages, and also what we mentioned before, future unicorns, you're very welcome in Lithuania.
Yeah, and from my side, two things. First thing, if you're not in Lithuania at this moment and you're thinking of on relocating in Lithuania or in different country, I would really like to invite you on the 3rd of October to Startup Fair, our main event.
Yes.
Where you will meet all the ecosystem under one roof. It will have pitch battle, conference part, and matchmaking. And the second thing, if you are new in our ecosystem and you just started and do not know a lot of people, come to our meetings in Vilnius for startups. And I think that there you will meet a lot of people that are working in the startup ecosystem, and you might meet investors or you might meet your future team members. So these are two invitations from my side.
And just to add to that, all the information that we mentioned today, this sounds like an ad now. All the information that we mentioned today, Startup Fair, and you know all the meetups, everything, or even the ecosystem app, everything you can find on our website, startuplithuania.com. So if you have any questions, just go there, and if you need an explanation or just some consultations, then you can contact us directly.
Thank you very much. I loved
Thank
our
you for having us
conversation.
here.
Yeah, there is so much that you shared with us, and I'm sure it's gonna be like a gem that people are going to find.
We hope so too.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you very much for your time and for coming here and sharing this gem of information, a treasure with us. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.